Men over 60, 4 nuts you should never eat, and 4 nuts you must choose. Instead, not all nuts are safe for men after 60. Some kill your testosterone, ruin blood flow, and steal your drive. 4 will fix it, 4 will wreck it. Stay to the end. 99% miss the last swap, and that one decides your manhood's future. Hidden saboteurs. Let's begin by unpacking a fundamental misunderstanding. The idea that all plant-based foods are inherently good for you is a beautiful simplification, but it's not the whole truth, especially when we're talking about the intricate dance of male hormones after a certain age. While nuts are celebrated for their healthy fats and fiber, some of them carry compounds that can act in ways you might not expect. They can contain substances that gently mimic estrogen or fatty acid profiles that encourage a state of low-grade chronic inflammation throughout your body. This isn't a dramatic overnight effect. It's a slow, subtle pressure applied over years of habitual snacking. A whisper, not a shout. Now, none of these nuts are inherently bad. In your 20s or 30s, your body's hormonal resilience could easily handle them without a second thought. But after 60, the game changes. Your natural testosterone production has been gradually tapering, maybe by about 1% a year, since your mid-30s. Your system becomes more sensitive to these subtle inputs, these endocrine-disrupting compounds that we encounter in our food and environment. Your margin for error, you could say, gets a little bit thinner. Think of your hormonal system as a finely calibrated orchestra. When every instrument is playing in perfect harmony, the result is vitality, strength, and clarity. But if one or two sections are consistently, even slightly out of tune, the entire performance begins to suffer. That's what can happen when your daily food choices are quietly pushing you towards an inflammatory or estrogenic state. Let's talk about peanuts first. They're everywhere, right? In trail mixes, in protein bars, as a classic ballpark snack. But here's the first surprise. Peanuts aren't technically nuts. They're legumes. This means they come with a different set of biological compounds, including things like lectins, which for some people can be an irritant to the delicate lining of the gut. But the bigger concern for an aging man is twofold. First, peanuts have a very high concentration of omega-6 fatty acids. Our bodies need a balance of omega-6 and omega-3, but the modern diet is flooded with omega-6, and this imbalance is a primary driver of chronic inflammation, the very same smoldering fire that contributes to prostate issues and metabolic dysfunction. Second, and this is something very few people are aware of, peanuts are particularly susceptible to contamination by something called aflatoxins. These are toxic compounds produced by certain types of mold that can grow on crops. While commercial supplies are regulated, frequent consumption, especially of lower quality or non-organic peanut products, can introduce a steady low-level stream of these toxins into your system. Your liver has to process them, which adds to its overall burden and can increase oxidative stress throughout your body. Oxidative stress is, in simple terms, the process of aging at a cellular level. So when you combine the pro-inflammatory fats with the potential toxin load, you have a food that, while seemingly innocent, might be working directly against your goals for hormonal health and longevity. Then we have cashews. They have that wonderfully creamy, satisfying texture. But when we look at them through a hormonal lens, a different picture emerges. They are relatively low in some of the most critical minerals for male vitality, especially zinc. Zinc is a cornerstone of testosterone production. It's not just an optional add-on, it's an essential building block. To make matters more complicated, cashews are also high in something called phytic acid. Phytic acid is an anti-nutrient that can bind to minerals in your gut and prevent their absorption. So even the zinc that is present in the cashews or in other foods you eat with them might not be fully available to your body. For a man whose zinc levels may already be declining with age, a diet heavy in cashew-based snacks, sauces, or vegan cheeses could be unknowingly displacing more nutrient-dense choices and exacerbating a mineral deficiency that is directly tied to low testosterone and prostate health. Next, let's consider pine nuts. They're less common, but they often appear in healthy recipes like pesto. Beyond the strange phenomenon known as pine mouth, a temporary metallic taste that some people experience, there's a more fundamental issue. Pine nuts have one of the most skewed ratios of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids you can find in the nut family. It's almost all omega-6, the pro-inflammatory kind, with virtually no anti-inflammatory omega-3s to provide balance. For a man already dealing with the aches, pains, and fatigue that can come with chronic inflammation, or for someone trying to soothe an irritated prostate, a food this heavily tilted towards the inflammatory pathway is simply not an ally. It's like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. Finally, we need to talk about a category that's arguably the most dangerous of all: the pre-packaged, flavored, roasted, and salted mixed nuts you find in canisters at every convenience store and airport. Here, the problem isn't just the nuts themselves, but what's been done to them. The processing turns a whole food into a pro-inflammatory cocktail. Most are roasted in cheap, unstable vegetable oils like soybean, canola, or sunflower oil, which dramatically increases the already high omega-6 content and introduces oxidized, damaged fats into your system. Then they're loaded with excessive sodium, which can elevate blood pressure and irritate the bladder, a particular concern for anyone with BPH. Add in the artificial flavorings, preservatives, and sometimes even sugar, and you have a product that has been engineered to be addictive but is nutritionally bankrupt and actively works against your health. It's a snack bomb. The point of this isn't to make you afraid of a single peanut or a cashew. The occasional indulgence is not going to derail your health. The danger lies in the habit. It lies in the daily, unthinking consumption of these foods. If they have become your go-to snack, your default choice, and you're simultaneously experiencing that creeping fatigue, the disrupted sleep, the more frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom, or a general sense of fading vitality, it is absolutely worth pausing and considering that there might be a connection. It's worth asking the question, is this simple daily habit serving the man I want to be? Because the moment you become aware of these hidden saboteurs, you gain the power to choose something different. And that's where the real work begins. Hormonal allies. Now that we've shed some light on the foods that might be subtly undermining your vitality, let's turn towards the positive. Let's talk about the allies. These are the nuts and seeds that aren't just neutral, but are actively supportive. They contain the specific minerals, fats, and antioxidants that an aging male body requires to maintain hormonal balance, protect the prostate, and sustain energy. Think of these not just as snacks, but as strategic tools. They are microdoses of potent nutrition that, when used consistently, can create profound shifts in how you feel. We're moving from a defensive posture to an offensive one, actively building the foundation for health. If I could only recommend one single nut for a man over 60 concerned about his testosterone, it would be the Brazil nut. The reason is one powerful word: selenium. This is a trace mineral, meaning your body only needs a tiny amount, but its impact is immense. Selenium is a critical cofactor in the production of testosterone. It's also a key component of your body's most powerful antioxidant enzymes, which protect your cells, including those in your prostate and testes, from oxidative damage. The modern food supply is often depleted of selenium, leaving many people deficient without even knowing it. And here's the remarkable thing: just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day can provide your entire recommended daily intake of this crucial mineral. Research has consistently shown that men with adequate selenium levels have healthier testosterone, better sperm motility, and lower markers of oxidative stress. It's one of the most efficient nutritional interventions you can make. The key is consistency and moderation. Don't overdo it. Selenium can be toxic in very high doses, just 1 or 2 a day. It's a simple, powerful daily ritual. Next on our list of allies is the walnut. If the Brazil nut is the hormone specialist, the walnut is the great protector. Its power comes primarily from its unique fatty acid profile. Walnuts are one of the richest plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which is a type of omega-3 fatty acid. This is the good stuff, the anti-inflammatory fat that helps to counterbalance the excess omega-6s in our diet. This anti-inflammatory action is crucial for prostate health, helping to calm the irritation that can contribute to BPH symptoms. But walnuts have another layer of protection. They are rich in antioxidants, particularly one called ellagic acid, which has been studied for its ability to reduce oxidative damage specifically within prostate tissue. Think of walnuts as providing a dual-action defense system for your body. They are cooling the fires of inflammation systemically, while also providing targeted antioxidant support to one of your most vulnerable glands. And they do all this while also being renowned for supporting brain health. A small handful, maybe about 7 whole walnut halves, a few times a week is a fantastic habit to cultivate. Now let's talk about something that's technically a seed but is so powerful it belongs in this conversation: the pumpkin seed. For men, pumpkin seeds are a veritable powerhouse of zinc. We've already touched on how crucial zinc is for testosterone synthesis, but its role in male health goes even deeper. The prostate gland itself contains one of the highest concentrations of zinc in the entire body. It's essential for producing prostate fluid and plays a role in regulating libido. Zinc deficiency is surprisingly common in older men, sometimes due to dietary choices and sometimes as a side effect of common medications. The consequences of low zinc are written all over the symptoms many men struggle with: reduced testosterone, a weaker immune system, and even issues with sexual function. Pumpkin seeds offer a simple, natural way to replenish your body's zinc stores. Just 1 or 2 tablespoons of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds sprinkled on a salad, mixed into yogurt, or eaten on their own can make a significant difference. Studies have shown that correcting a zinc deficiency can lead to measurable improvements in serum testosterone and sexual health in a matter of months. It's a foundational piece of the puzzle. Finally, let's bring in the macadamia nut. In many ways, the macadamia is the perfect fat source for a man concerned with hormonal balance. What makes it so special is what it has, and also what it doesn't have. Macadamias are incredibly rich in monounsaturated fats, the same healthy fats found in olive oil, which are known to be heart-healthy and anti-inflammatory. At the same time, they are very low in the pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids that we want to limit. And they are virtually free of the anti-nutrients like phytic acid that can block mineral absorption. This clean profile makes them incredibly easy on your digestive system and allows your body to readily access their nutrients. Furthermore, they contain a unique fatty acid called palmitoleic acid, which some research suggests may improve fat metabolism and insulin sensitivity. Better insulin sensitivity is directly linked to healthier testosterone levels and less abdominal fat, the kind of fat that can actively convert your precious testosterone into estrogen. So you can think of macadamias as the clean, stable, anti-inflammatory fuel source. A small serving of 5 or 6 nuts makes for a deeply satisfying and hormonally intelligent snack that won't stir up trouble in your system. So let's quickly recap this new toolkit. Brazil nuts for selenium and testosterone production, walnuts for their omega-3s and targeted prostate protection, pumpkin seeds for their essential zinc stores, and macadamia nuts for clean anti-inflammatory fats that support a healthy metabolism. These 4 are your new go-to team. By consciously choosing these allies and limiting the saboteurs, you begin to actively shape your internal environment. You're not just hoping for the best, you're taking deliberate steps to build a body that feels strong, resilient, and vital for years to come. Wise practice. You now have the knowledge of which nuts to favor and which to limit. But knowledge on its own is only half the equation. The other half is application, the wisdom of how to integrate these foods into your life in a balanced and sustainable way. Because even the best foods consumed in the wrong way can lose their power or even create new problems. This is where we move from theory to wise practice. It's about personalizing your approach with 3 key principles: portion, preparation, and pairing. Let's start with portion. This is perhaps the most common pitfall. Nuts are incredibly nutrient-dense, which also means they are calorically dense. It's astonishingly easy to sit down with a large bag of healthy nuts and consume 500 or 600 calories without even feeling particularly full. For a man over 60, this presents a unique challenge. Your metabolism may have slowed down. You might be losing muscle mass, which is your body's primary metabolic engine. This combination makes it easier to gain weight, especially around the abdomen. And this isn't just a cosmetic issue. Abdominal fat is metabolically active tissue. It contains an enzyme called aromatase, which has the specific job of converting your testosterone into estrogen. The more abdominal fat you carry, the more of this conversion takes place, creating a vicious cycle of lower testosterone and further weight gain. So, portion control becomes a non-negotiable part of a hormonally supportive diet. A simple, effective rule of thumb is to stick to about 1 ounce per serving, just once a day. What does that look like? It's roughly a small closed handful. More specifically, it's about 6 Brazil nuts, or 10 to 12 macadamias, or 14 walnut halves, or about 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds. That single serving is often enough, especially if you're already getting healthy fats from other sources like olive oil, avocado, or fatty fish. The goal here is consistency, not volume. A small, daily, intentional dose of these powerful foods is infinitely more effective than a massive, infrequent binge. It's about a steady hand, not a heavy one. Next, let's talk about preparation. How a nut gets from the tree to your mouth matters immensely. As we touched on earlier, many commercial nuts are roasted in industrial seed oils that are high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. This process can also damage the delicate fats within the nuts themselves, turning a healthy food into an unhealthy one. The far better choice is to opt for raw or dry roasted nuts. Dry roasting means they've been roasted with heat alone, no added oils. Even better is if they are unsalted. Excess sodium can contribute to high blood pressure, but it can also be a bladder irritant, which is the last thing you need if you're already dealing with an enlarged prostate. If you love the taste of roasted nuts, consider making your own. It's incredibly simple. You can toss raw nuts in a tiny bit of olive oil or avocado oil and roast them at a low temperature at home. This gives you complete control. You can even add anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric, paprika, or cinnamon to further enhance their health benefits. Finally, we need to consider pairing. No food exists in a vacuum. How you combine nuts with other foods can dramatically influence their effect on your body. One of the primary goals for maintaining hormonal health as you age is to keep your blood sugar stable and your insulin sensitivity high. Pairing nuts with foods that are rich in fiber, like an apple, a bowl of oatmeal, or a large leafy green salad, slows down the absorption of the fats and carbohydrates, preventing a sharp spike in blood sugar. This gentle, steady release of energy helps your body stay insulin sensitive. Why is this so important? Because men with insulin resistance are far more likely to have low testosterone, struggle with BPH symptoms, and suffer from chronic fatigue. So, avoid the common mistake of pairing your healthy nuts with sugary trail mixes full of dried fruit and chocolate candies, or eating them alongside highly processed, high-carb foods. That combination completely negates the benefits. Instead, think of simple, clean pairings: Greek yogurt topped with walnuts and pumpkin seeds, a few macadamia nuts alongside some cucumber slices, 1 or 2 Brazil nuts eaten with your morning. Oatmeal. It's about creating synergistic combinations that support your metabolic health, not undermine it. And let's add one final thought on timing. Some men find that consuming magnesium-rich nuts like walnuts or pumpkin seeds in the evening can be particularly beneficial. Magnesium is essential for calming the nervous system and promoting deep, restorative sleep. And it's during that deep sleep that your body does its most important hormonal work, including the production of testosterone. A small strategic snack an hour or 2 before bed can improve sleep quality and support this vital overnight process. So, you see, a nut is not just a nut, it's a tool. And like any powerful tool, it needs to be used with skill, intention, and a deep respect for its potential. Daily rituals. We've covered the what and the why. Now, let's get to the most important part, the how. How do you weave this new understanding into the fabric of your daily life without it feeling like a chore or another restrictive diet? The truth is, knowledge is useless without consistent action. Real, lasting change comes from building simple, sustainable habits that become so natural you no longer have to think about them. It's about creating new rituals that support the man you want to be every single day. Let's begin with the morning. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of reaching for a sugary cereal or a processed breakfast bar, consider starting your day with those hormone-building minerals we talked about. Make a simple ritual of having 1 or 2 Brazil nuts right when you wake up. You can eat them plain while your coffee brews, crumble them over a bowl of oatmeal, or toss them into a morning smoothie. This small act takes less than 30 seconds, but it accomplishes something profound. It front-loads your day with the selenium your body needs for testosterone synthesis and antioxidant defense. It's a quiet declaration to your body that you are starting the day with intention and nourishment. Now let's move to midday. This is the time when energy often dips and the temptation to grab a convenient but unhealthy snack is at its highest. This is the moment where a bad choice, like a bag of chips or those salted peanuts from the vending machine, can derail your energy and your hormonal balance for the rest of the afternoon. This is where you can make a powerful swap. Keep a small container of raw macadamia nuts or dry roasted pumpkin seeds at your desk, in your car, or in your gym bag. When that 3 p.m. hunger pang hits, you'll have a smart choice ready. These snacks are low in inflammatory fats, rich in minerals, and they won't spike your blood sugar. This prevents that afternoon crash and provides a steady stream of clean energy to carry you through the rest of your workday. It's about being prepared, so you can make the wise choice the easy choice. As the day winds down, shift your focus to recovery and repair. The evening is a sacred time for your body to heal. Consider creating a simple pre-bed ritual that includes a nightcap of walnuts or pumpkin seeds. Both are excellent sources of magnesium, a mineral that acts as a natural relaxant for your nervous system and is crucial for deep, restorative sleep. As we've discussed, it's during these deep sleep cycles that your body produces the majority of its daily testosterone. A few walnuts, perhaps with a small cup of tart cherry juice or a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds mixed into a little plain yogurt, can be a powerful signal to your body that it's time to switch from go mode to repair mode. This isn't just a snack. It's a tool for enhancing your body's natural recovery processes. We also need to talk about hydration. Nuts are, by their nature, a very dry food. If you increase your intake of nuts without also increasing your fluid intake, you can run into issues like constipation or a sluggish metabolism. For men dealing with BPH, proper hydration is even more critical for maintaining bladder health and preventing irritation. Make it a habit to always pair your nut consumption with a large glass of water or a cup of herbal tea. Think of water as the essential partner that helps transport the nutrients from the nuts to your cells and flush out waste products. They work together as a team. Here's another practice that can elevate your routine: soaking. For seeds like pumpkin seeds, a quick overnight soak in water can help to reduce the phytic acid content. This simple step unlocks the minerals, making the zinc and magnesium more bioavailable for your body to absorb. It's a small extra step that enhances the nutritional power of the food you're eating. And finally, here's a tip I often give my patients: rotate your nuts. Don't just eat the same one every single day. Variety prevents you from getting too much of any one compound and ensures you're getting a broader spectrum of nutrients. Maybe Monday and Wednesday are for Brazil nuts. Tuesday and Thursday are for pumpkin seeds. Friday is for walnuts, and the weekend is for macadamia nuts. This creates a flexible, resilient system that nourishes your body from all angles without ever feeling rigid or boring. This isn't a diet, it's a rhythm. It's a way of living that is built on small, intelligent, and consistent choices that, over time, add up to a profound sense of well-being. You've just been given a new lens through which to see a very ordinary food. You now understand that the nuts sitting in your kitchen pantry are not just passive calories, they are active biological messengers. They carry information that can either promote inflammation, disrupt hormonal pathways, and block nutrient absorption, or they can provide the very building blocks your body needs to manufacture testosterone, protect your prostate, and maintain steady, resilient energy, especially in the years after 60. We've seen that some choices, like peanuts, cashews, and heavily processed mixes, can quietly work against you. And we've seen how others, like Brazil nuts, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, and macadamias, can become your greatest nutritional allies. But this was never about creating a list of good and bad foods. It was about cultivating awareness. It was about understanding the immense power that lies in your small, daily choices. You don't need to perfectly overhaul your entire diet overnight. That approach rarely works. The path forward is one of small, gentle shifts. Start with one thing. Tomorrow morning, swap your usual breakfast for a piece of fruit and 2 Brazil nuts. The next day, pack a small handful of pumpkin seeds for your afternoon snack instead of whatever you normally grab. Drink an extra glass of water, and then just listen. Pay attention to how your body responds. Notice the subtle shifts in your energy, your sleep, your mood. That feedback from your own body is more valuable than any study or any expert opinion. You deserve to inhabit a body that feels like a partner, not an adversary. You deserve to age not with a sense of loss, but with a sense of growing wisdom and strength. This is your health. It belongs to you. Take this information not as a set of rigid rules, but as an invitation to begin a new conversation with your body. A conversation built on respect, attention, and a commitment to providing it with the very best nourishment you can. The power to change the trajectory of your health is quite literally in your hands. Comment: I'm 64 and have been eating peanut butter on toast for breakfast nearly every day for 40 years. This video was a real wake-up call. Not in a scary way, just an enlightening one. Going to try swapping in some pumpkin seeds and Brazil nuts this week and see how I feel. Thank you for the clarity.